When we're working on our spinal cars, we want to be able to segment every single vertebrae of the spine. So we want to be able to work this spine in its entirety from top to bottom. Now there's a couple of things I want to focus on before we start to work on that, and it's down at the bottom with the pelvis and up at the top with the shoulder. So for the bottom, think of a basin of water in your pelvis. Now as you go into anterior pelvic tilt, that water will spill out. And now think of pelvis back round, so squeeze your butt slightly and we'll go into a posterior pelvic tilt. And these both look like this. And that's the bottom of the spine. So we need to make sure that that's in place first. We can segment the lumbar spine. Now we're going to work up into thoracic, so we're going to make sure that the shoulder blades do what they're supposed to do. So we go into protraction and retraction. And that's us working through those ranges and be able to separate them from the rest of the spine as well. So pelvic tilt and shoulder blade motions. Once we get familiar with them and you work through the rest of the spine, the shoulder cars for the shoulder stuff, we'll start to work on that full spinal cars. So we start off in that same position. So on hands and knees. I want you to push up through everything, so full into protraction, full posterior pelvic tilts. You're pushing the ground away. When we're working from the lower towards the top, try not to let anything happen with the elbows, try not to let your shoulders sink until obviously you get to that shoulder range. So if we're all the way up at the top, I've got a visitor, we go from lumbar spine into anterior pelvic tilt. Then we start to work our way up the spine. So I'm trying to segment each individual vertebrae as I work my way up. All the way up to thoracic, all the way into cervical. And then in there, I want to hold that position and try and engage all the spinal erectors, so the muscles on either side of your spine, to really pull us as deep down as we can go. And then we're going to retrace that movement. So the neck goes down, the cervical spine, and then we're going to push up through into the upper back, using your breathing as well. And then start to expand your rib cage up into thoracic, and then start to work your way down the rest of the spine, so that then you get back to that starting position. I'm going to show you that in the sort of speed that I want you to do it in. What you're trying to do is think of segment by segment by segment. The more that you can connect to your spinal erectors, so those muscles down either side of your spine, the more you'll actually be able to feel little bits of your spine waking up, taking part and segmenting. So I'm going to do this without talking. You might be able to hear my breath when I do it. As I go in and out of the movements, I'm either exhaling to pull myself deeper into the ground, exhaling to pull myself deeper to the ground, and inhaling to get the rib cage up into thoracic. So you might be able to hear that, but my breathing has a lot to do with it as well, just to get as much range as I can possibly eke out. So starting position. Here we go. There we go. It's one of the harder ones to do, obviously, because you're basically closing your eyes and trying to take that deep feeling of what's going on. Another way to do it is actually to get a friend to help. So if you're in your starting position and you ask a friend to come down and just gently tap you in that area, of going up the spine, you'll be able to get some touch feedback, which allows the brain to kind of take more information down to where the area is being touched. And sometimes that helps to make that connection. This is a tough one, take your time. I want you to go all the way up and all the way back down. And over time, you obviously will improve, but know that at the start when you try this, your brain's going to be like, I can't connect to it, or it'll flutter and you'll jerk and it'll be quite weird. But bear with it, and a healthy spine just changes everything. Good luck with it.